Hello, beautiful people. Today is 14th of September. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Now, guys, before that, first of all, let's have a look on today's GS folder. So, today we'll see a quote from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the Chief Architect of Indian Constitution. He says, indifferentiatism is the worst kind of disease that can affect people. Now, indifferentiation reflects the apathy that prevails into the people's attitude. It reflects a kind of an indifference to the human miseries, and therefore it reflects a kind of a crisis of a conscience as well as a crisis of ethics. Now, guys, as you all are aspiring for the civil services, one virtue of civil servants happens to be the compassion as well as a kind of a empathy towards the fellow citizens, and in that particular conquest you need to avoid all acts of indifferentiatism. So guys, please utilize this particular thing into our GS paper number 4, where the foundational values for the civil servants have been asked. So guys, that's it, and now let's take the newspaper analysis.
Now friends, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper first. Now guys, here we can see that it has been said that status quo on LAC has been reached after Jaishankar Wong meet. Now guys, just 2 days back, we had seen the 5-point action plan which was signed between the India and China when the Indian foreign minister visited the Moscow for the SCO meet. Now guys, when the status quo is being mentioned here, it means that status quo before the week has been restored, not the original status quo. India wants that the position which was there into the start of April, that needs to be restored. So this is the actual status quo that we want. But guys, this has not been reached. Guys, just that's it. No need to go into the deeper details because this is an everyday development and we not need to go there. Then guys, here we can see that the frontline workers will get vaccine first. So guys, here we'll see the vaccine policy of India, that India needs to look and what India has defined. So guys, an important topic. Then guys, here we can see that the gas well which was blowing on in the Bagjan for past 110 days, it has now been has now been abated. So guys, in this particular respect, some important mapping points etc will be seen. Then guys, here we can see life goes off the rails. Now guys, this is a kind of a personalistic account of the people into the Delhi who had suffered because recently Supreme Court ordered that 48,000 slum, basically the settlements into the slums, they need to be demolished within a specific time frame of 3 months. Now guys, in this particular respect, if you remember, just 2 days back we had seen that how Supreme Court's this decision is against the principles of natural justice, its own precedent. So guys, please do keep all these things into mind. In detail we have discussed this entire issue already. Then guys, moving forward, now this particular news, however, there is nothing substantial into the news, but guys, here it has been said that the lawyers now they are finding it hard to meet their ends because the courts are closed. So guys, a kind of a question comes that these technical glitches, they have not only impacted the dispensation of judiciary but also had impacted the livelihood of the people, particularly the lawyers who don't know about the technology, how to handle it. So guys, that is also an issue here. Then moving forward guys, now here we come to the editorial page. Guys, again the same LAC articles are going on. Please don't go into these articles because enough of the stuff we had made, and at the end of the day question of 150-200 words will only be coming. Guys, please don't go into this. Then guys, this particular article talks about the election of the deputy speaker. However, already we discussed this thing. Now it talks about the equations which are not being met into the different political parties. Not important for our exam, stuff has not been there into this article. Now guys, this particular article talks about the recently released IIP data. So guys, these numbers will anyhow be changing, so you can leave this particular article because the IIP is released every month. Now guys, this article talks about the preconception advice to the women. So guys, we'll see this with respect to the health. Then this article talks as how we can exploit the Chinese exit. So guys, how our tech industry could be built, we'll see the issues. Then guys, reducing the India's cancer burden for health, we'll see this thing. Then guys, here we can see that the Kottayam has been mentioned. So in this particular respect, some important mapping entries will be seen. Then guys, this entire page is talking about the political issues because now the session is about to met. Guys, nothing important has been given onto the entire page. Then the news with respect to the COVID etc. has been given, not important for our paper. Then guys, the education plus, nothing substantial has been given here. The showcase page. Then guys, onto the world page, the same news with respect to the crisis, the US election etc. is going on. Then guys, as today is a Monday, there is no business page. This is the Moneywise page which contains some investing advice etc. Then guys, the sports page, and nothing here has been given. So that's it. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail.
Now guys, taking up the first news, so this particular news pertains to the environment and ecology and can be very important for our prelims exam. Now guys, into repeated past few months, we had seen again and again the reference of the Assam Baghjan oil fields where the blowout fire was going on since last 110 days, and now finally the fire has been controlled. Now guys, therefore just for the mapping point of view, we will see certain important details. First of all, here onto the map you can see the Baghjan Oil Field Limited, which is owned by the OIL. Now guys, this particular oil field lies near to the Maguri Bill. Now, bill refers to the wetland or the region of water. This Maguri Bill happens to be a very important region and has been recognized as an important birding site by the BirdLife International. Now, BirdLife International is a global partnership between the NGOs which are working for the conservation of as well as for the habitat preservation of the birds. Moreover guys, BirdLife International also is important because the IUCN, that is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, has listed BirdLife as official red list authority for the birds. So whatever birds you see into the IUCN red list, their status, it is determined by the BirdLife International, and earlier even a question onto the BirdLife has been asked. So guys, the Maguri Bill has been recognized by it as an important birding site. Now if you'll see onto the north side, we can see the Dibru River which is flowing. After Dibru River, further north we can see the Dibru Sekhova National Park. Now Dibru Sekhova National Park, it is in Assam and it has also been given the status of the Biosphere Reserve. So in our country we have 18 Biosphere Reserves, and out of them the Dibru Sekhova is one of the Biosphere Reserve. And further on to the north side we can see the Brahmaputra River. So guys, from north to south as well as south to north, please keep this location into your mind. Now guys, how this particular fire has been contained. Now see what is the situation here. Here is an underground well from where the gas is leaking, and as the gas is leaking and it is highly combustible, it has came in fire and a continuous fire is blowing from 110 days. Now as a temporary solution, the gas has been diverted to somewhere else, and in meanwhile the killing of the well will be carried. Now killing is a technical term where the wells which are basically the wells such as this which has encountered a fire, they will be blocked by putting a mixture of the cement and the mud, and that cement and mud mixture will plug the pores from which the gas is leaking, and this particular thing is called as the killing of the well. Now if you remember, just a few days back we had earlier also discussed this killing of the well. There was an attempt which was made earlier, but the valve for preventing that, for basically preventing that leak was failed and the operation was not a success. Now guys, a kind of a temporary respite has achieved here. So guys, that's it about this particular news, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article pertains to the vaccine policy that has been outlined by Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, as we know that the race for a vaccine is going on, and India also, the Serum Institute of India, which is preparing the Chedox vaccine, as well as the Bharat Biotech is also preparing the vaccine, and it is expected that within the first quarter of 2021 these vaccines will be out. And as these vaccines will be out beforehand, we need to have a kind of a vaccine policy, that on what principles that vaccine will be administered, so that in less as well as is in minimum time maximum drug delivery or vaccine delivery can happen. Now guys, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare has said that priority groups will be given the drugs onto the priority basis. Now, who are these priority groups? They are constituted by the frontline health workers, the senior citizens, and people who are having the comorbidities, the people who are having the diabetes, who are having the heart conditions, because they are more susceptible to the COVID-19. So to them, first of all, the vaccine will be given. Now guys, only this particular thing has been said, but from our side we can also make certain suggestions. Now, number one principle of the vaccine policy, whenever you'll write, just first of all mention a word that there needs not to be the vaccine nationalism first of all. Now, vaccine nationalism is a concept that many countries now they are blocking the pharmaceuticals that they supply vaccine first to their population only. And this particular thinking is flawed, because even if you immunize your entire population and the world population is not immunized, it will not be bringing any benefit. So therefore, as soon as vaccine is developed, a kind of a vaccine sympathy needs to be shown rather than the vaccine nationalism, because there could be a possibility that before India some other country makes the vaccine. So please mention that thing. Then guys, there are other issues also into the vaccine policy that we can mention. First of all, it has been provided that initially, as there are large number of people who have to be vaccinated, government need to interfere into the early stages. It needs to provide vaccine at almost free of cost. Now guys, as government will provide vaccine free of cost, it will provide a kind of a seed funding to the pharmaceutical companies, and in mean course of time, as enough of drugs will be procured by government only, a kind of an economies of scale will be reached. Now economies of scale means that when the demand increases, the cost of production goes down, and as cost of production will go down, obviously the price of the vaccine will also go down, and when these prices will go down, then the people themselves can also afford the vaccine. So first government has to intervene to bring the economies of scale. After that guys, it has been said that in India we have a particular advantage, that is the universal immunization program that India is carrying since 1970s. By this universal immunization program, we are administering 12 life-saving vaccines to the children, which includes the 7 original drugs which came under the mission Indradhanush. Okay, now the thing is that such infrastructure which we had made, we can now utilize it for the universal vaccination of all the people. Now when I talk about the universal immunization program, you might be knowing that into various facilities polio drops etc are being administered, so that infrastructure we can utilize. Moreover guys, at the same time, as the drug is not as the vaccine is not there, meanwhile certain actions have also been taken, has to be taken by the government. For example, it needs to work on the logistics, that as soon as vaccine will be developed, how it will be made available to every corner of country. Then the cold storage mechanisms, because the temperature plays a very important role in keeping the efficacy of the drug at the optimal level. And finally, the how the handling of the drug, administration of the drug will be done. We need to train the adequate health staff also in that particular direction. So guys, on these particular thing, meanwhile we need to see, and as drugs vaccine will come, we have to work on certain agendas. So guys, that's all about this particular thing, and a probable question this particular year can be asked. So that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article pertains to the preconception advice or the contraceptive advice to the women into the times of the pandemic. So guys, this particular article is opening up a kind of a new dimension into the health, and therefore can be important for our GS paper number 2 under the topic of health. Now guys, if I give you some data, it has been said that in our country every day 7,48,000 children are born. Now, given the pregnancy, it has been said that the actually pregnancy and its materialization into the child delivery, the ratio is around 50%. So therefore, every day in our country, nearly 15 lakh women are getting pregnant, and therefore 50% ratio, 7,48,000 children are being born. Now, during the time of pandemic, the pregnancies have a special, has a basically a special kind or a very deadly kind of risk. What are this? See, number one, with respect to the pregnancy, the WHO as well as ICMR has issued certain advisories, that is advisory for the medical management of pregnancy and the newborn care. But nobody had talked about altogether avoiding the pregnancy. Now guys, it has been said that as 15 lakh women are getting pregnant and seeing the rising number of cases, it has been said that a considerable portion of those women who are getting pregnant, they will also be getting infected by the COVID-19. And as 80 to 85% people, they develop the asymptomatic kind of COVID-19. So it has been said that considerable women will be asymptomatic. They'll not be knowing that they are having the COVID-19. Now, what is the mode of operation of the COVID-19 virus in our body? See, it particularly attacks the inner lining of the blood vessels and it weakens the blood vessels. Fine. Now guys, when the women conceives, then the fetus, it gets nourishment from the women or from the mother through the placenta. And now the placenta is a organ which has which is a kind of a vascular organ. Therefore it has large number of blood vessels, and as COVID-19 is impacting the blood vessels, there could be a possibility that there could be vertical transmission either. Now vertical transmission is from mother to child, so there could either be a vertical transmission or it could damage the placenta to such an extent that the nutrition deficiency will develop into the fetus since the fetus was conceived, and this particular thing will develop the abnormalities into the fetus. Its brain development could stop, or other kind of physical deformities into the body can come. Now guys, such kind of correlation has earlier been observed into the Zika as well as rubella. So therefore the immunization for the Zika and rubella was taken also. And now the COVID, as it is going on, such kind of things can be there also. First of all, it is too soon to actually conclude because the findings have not been very much concrete, but such kind of problems can happen. Therefore it is advisable that women should right now use contraceptives and should altogether avoid the pregnancies. Now it will not only be helpful for the mother as well as child, but on various other counts also it will be helpful. For example, now if the contraceptives will be used, the pregnancy will be reduced, and right now there is a threat that the upcoming population of the children, it could be the deformed population which will not be fruitfully be utilized, giving any contribution into the demographic dividend. So that particular population will not be coming if the contraceptives right now are used. Then guys, now as the women, if they develop the pregnancy, they have to make the frequent clinic visits, and even if they are earlier not infected by the COVID-19, they can get a new infection when they are visiting the clinics. Then now, as if there will be the more pregnancies, the health staff has to be diverted for giving the antenatal care to the women, and right now already we are having the shortage of the health staff. Then guys, right now the pandemic has also brought the economic miseries, and the basic and the capacities of the families is very restricted to give postnatal care, to give good well-being to a child once he has born. So therefore also it is now not advisable to go for the pregnancy. Then guys, it has been said that even the burden in terms of new vaccination will be coming if more pregnancies will be there, because the universal immunization of the children has also to be carried, and if the contraceptives will be are now promoted, then such a kind of resources will not be diverted. Moreover guys, it has been said that though you need to control them, but once the women have conceived the children, there needs to be the rigorous antenatal care. They regularly, the fetus needs to be introspected to see whether some kind of abnormalities are not being developed, and if there is some kind of trace of abnormalities, then the preemptive actions in that particular direction needs to be taken. After that, guys, there is also, right now we need to frame a policy that the vaccines should be administered as soon as they are developed to those women which don't have developed the IgG antibodies. Now IgG antibodies are developed when a person has infected the COVID-19. So the women who are not having, they are even more vulnerable to the COVID-19. So therefore, at first priority, they should be given the vaccine. So guys, these are certain advisories with respect to the pregnancies as well as with respect to the reproductive women's. It could be a kind of an innovative question asked onto this particular line. So that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article pertains to exploiting the Chinese exit. Now we had seen that into the past few days, government first of all banned 59 Chinese apps, and now recently 118 other Chinese apps have also been banned. Now this particular window we can utilize as an opportunity. Now before going that particular thing, first of all we need to understand the Chinese strategy, that how they themselves develop a kind of a dominance into the tech regime. Now guys, we use the term Great Internet Wall of China. Now what is this Great Internet Wall of China? See, at the same time when China was talking about globalization, was increasing its manufacturing capabilities, was becoming the factory for the world, at the same time China was censoring the Western tech giants. Now guys, we use the word big tech for the companies such as the Apple, Google, Alphabet, Microsoft, etc. So China actively was keeping these corporates away from China. Google was heavily curtailed, YouTube was heavily regulated, and guys, because of this thing, even Google pulled out completely from China in 2010. Onto the same lines, YouTube, Twitter, etc., they have been heavily censored. Now the entire world was thinking that China is safeguarding their own regime. But no, it was not only the strategy, rather strategy was to insulate the Chinese entrepreneurs into the technology sector. Now guys, if China would have opened them, then the Western technology giants would have uprooted them entirely. Therefore, a kind of a safe ecosystem was to be given, and that ecosystem was being provided by the China. Now guys, first of all, what these Chinese entrepreneurs did, first of all they built the copycat versions of the Western platforms. For example, Baidu was made as an alternative to Google, then the Yoku Todu was made as an alternative to YouTube, then the alternative to Twitter, Instagram, everything's alternative copycat versions have been made. Now then China made one step forward. What they did, they not only made those copycat versions, rather they customized them. They gave them a kind of a tailored approach, so that how their local population can their local population's aspiration can be met. So they gave a kind of a customized approach. And secondly, learning step by step, China actually attained great advantages into the development of the artificial intelligence, deep learning, neural network. And according to a report published in 2016 by the White House, it has been said that China has surpassed even the USA in the capabilities of the AI. How that was happened? Because for a considerable long time, from 2000s to 2020, their entrepreneurs were working into a secure and safe environment. And at the same time, from 2010 to 2019, if I tell you, the Chinese population using the internet has expanded from 300 million people to 900 million people. Now this particular population not only gave a kind of a market, but also provided the revenue to the Chinese entrepreneurs, and they developed. Now coming to the Indian landscape. Now see, in India, if we see, there are two type of opportunities. First of all, the geo boom. Now, because of the geo, large number of people have came online. Second thing is the recent ban. Now people are online, and at the same time ban has happened, so therefore the applications or the tech that they were using earlier, they have now been taken, and a kind of a vacuum has been created. And this particular vacuum provides an opportunity that Indian tech entrepreneurs can reap that particular kind of vacuum, and they provide a kind of a homegrown solutions to all these particular kind of things. Now guys, we not only need to provide the alternatives, rather we need to also provide the customized products to the Indian markets. See, the Western tech as well as the Chinese tech had not factored the diverse languages that people speak, the diverse preferences of the people. Just they have provided a product, and even people were not in a capacity to raise a kind of a customized a product, because that particular thing would not have even met. Now the Indian tech growers, they can meet the requirements of diverse language, customized different needs, different understanding, and onto the principle of hyper local, we can make available them the products. And guys, in that particular way we can make the capacity, and in course of time our tech firms can also provide the products to the world. Now if I tell you, for example, the applications into the Odia language, Bengali, at Marathi, etc. needs to be made, so that entire population of that particular language can utilize those apps. Now we have seen that there is huge exodus of the migrant people, large number of unorganized people into the unorganized sector. First time tech learners, they are coming and they are joining the mobile force. So therefore, to all these people, such kind of solutions can be provided by the Indian tech firms. And learning by this particular experience, what we can do, we can further reach to the markets of Africa, Latin America, South America, the countries where the inroads into the internet have not been made. Now guys, it has been said that the focus of the big tech has always been the people with the deep pockets, which are only 15 million. But bigger than them is the market of people who lie into the middle group or the low income group. So for them, India needs to make a kind of an ecosystem. Now it has been said that, guys, what we are doing till now, India is exporting the IT to the world, but we have not focused on our home market. 130 crore population has not been focused. So now this is the high time that the tech entrepreneurs of India should look onto this particular market, and even government needs to come out with the adequate policy, a kind of a flexibility, kind of such rules needs to be provided to them, so that they enjoy a kind of a comparative advantage in our country. So guys, this is a solution which has been provided, and a kind of a positivity into the ban has been seen, and as those things have happened, we should utilize it as an opportunity. So guys, please do utilize it in your GS paper number 3. So that's it, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article talks about reducing India's cancer burden. See, the diseases such as cancer, cardiovascular diseases, diabetes, etc., these diseases are called as the lifestyle diseases. And according to the Lancet report, which is a health journal, it says that lifestyle diseases are the silent killers. They are killing far bigger population when compared to the other kind of diseases. And into these silent killers or lifestyle disease, cancers happens to be a very deadly kind of disease. And if we talk about the National Center for Disease Informatics and Research's National Cancer Registry Program report. So this is a report provided from here. 13.9 lakh people were having a cancer in 2019, and out of this particular thing, 2/3 people are at the later stages of cancer. Guys, from 1990 to 2006, the burden of cancer has been increased by the factor of 2.5. So therefore, all these particular things point towards a very disturbing kind of trend. Now guys, cancer is not only a health crisis, but it also leads to other kind of problem, the loss of lives. Then the socio-economic inequity comes. See, many a times if a person who develops cancer and in a day, in a way, if he dies, and if he happened to be the sole earning member of the family, then the entire family's socio-economic standard will be going down, and this particular thing will be pushing them into the poverty, will be bringing untold miseries. Then guys, it reduces the economic growth, because the productive population, when they are becoming subject to fatality, that reduces the prospects, it reduces our human resource. Then guys, because of these particular thing, the national development as a whole gets reduced. So therefore friends, if it has been provided that India has pledged into the sustainable developmental goals that by 2030 we will be reducing the cancer death by 1/3, and therefore in order to meet the international obligation as well as to look for our national well-being, the cancer deaths or the cancer occurrences needs to be reduced. And in this particular direction, the article has provided that we need to focus on three pillars. Pillar number one is the risk reduction. It has been said that 550 to 60% of cancer deaths, they could be avoided if the detection of the cancer would have been made into the early stages. Now guys, more of this, the 50 to 60% cancers, they are happening because of the causes such as the tobacco consumption, alcohol consumption, having a bad diet, having no physical activity. And if on these particular things focus would have been made, the people might have avoided the cancer altogether. So therefore, the civil societies, government, health practitioners, they need to sensitize the people that how a good pattern, a good lifestyle, good diet, physical activity, they are needed, and in this particular way 50 to 60% burden can be reduced. Secondly guys, it has been said that government needs to work on to the policy solutions driven by the data. As I had earlier discussed, the data given by the National Cancer Registry Program. So according to that particular data, we can draw the trends, we can identify the population onto the basis of the immediate family members, etc., that who are more vulnerable, and beforehand we can carry the early detection, early screening, and therefore we can design the early treatment. And in this particular thing, the prospective patients of cancer could be identified. And guys, thirdly, it has been said that government needs to leverage onto the good existing schemes which are there, because if we utilize them to their fullest potential, a large number of benefits can be achieved. For example guys, there is Ayushman Bharat, which provides a kind of a support up to 5 lakh rupees into the for the tertiary and secondary sector, basically the diseases which needs the attention at the secondary as well as the tertiary care hospitals. And in there, the people who are suffering with the cancer via the Ayushman Bharat, they could be provided the support. Then guys, the Swachh Bharat mission instills the practices such as hygiene, and the hygiene is a very important factor to avoid any kind of disease. Then guys, the national health program, health policy, then the national tobacco control program, national program for prevention and control of cancer, diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and stroke. These particular programs specifically are directing towards the lifestyle diseases such as cancer, and we should make maximum utilization of these particular kind of schemes. So guys, working on to these three pillars, the cancer deaths can be reduced. So three pillars, first of all, first of all, reduces the avoidable deaths by giving the kind of a sensitization to the people. Second is work onto the policy, the data which is given, or work onto the policy driven data. And the third is that utilize the existing schemes. So guys, that's it. A ready-made answer has been provided here into this particular article. So that's all, and now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article mentions the Kottayam, and for the mapping purpose we will see the nitty-gritties which has been mentioned here. First of all, why Kottayam has been mentioned? Because Kottayam is very popular for water lily blooms. Here into the picture you can see that the pink color lily plants have bloomed here, and every year the tourists, they come and visit these lily blooms. Now guys, this particular phenomena is also called as the pink vista. But now, as the pandemic is going on, tourists are not coming here, and therefore the government has decided that they will be streaming these vistas onto the social media, onto the various websites, so that people develop a kind of an inquisitiveness and they come to see these particular miracles. Now guys, it has been said that government will also be holding the Pink Water Lily Festival onto the lines of Tulip Festival of the Amsterdam. So that is the issue which has been mentioned. Now with respect to the mapping, let's see the mapping locations. Now guys, Kottayam lies near to the Vembanad Lake, and Vembanad Lake is a very important water body of Kerala. It is one of the longest water body of India. Is it clear? Now guys, as we talking about the Vembanad Lake, here you can also see the Alpuza. And guys, basically Vembanad Lake is also very important because it is a part of the National Waterway number 3. Is it clear? Now national waterways, right now we are having 116 waterways. Fine. But before that, in 2016 onwards, 116 waterways became, but before that only 5 waterways were there. And within the 5, the national waterway number 3, it goes from the Kerala. So from where it starts? It starts from the Kottapuram and it goes up to Kollam. And in between there is the Ashtamudi Lake. Then here you can see there is the Vembanad Lake. Is it clear or not? So guys, just you need to have a comparative kind of location also, that Vembanad is into the north and the Ashtamudi is into the south, and in between here along with the Vembanad Lake, the Kottayam has also been there, which is right now into the news. Now guys, waterways are very important for the inland trade. Okay, in our country we have a problem that the internal transport is very much expensive, due to which our products competitiveness gets reduced, and therefore government is working that the transport via waterways should be carried. And in that particular thing, these waterways which I am discussing, they play an important role, and in Kerala waterway number 3 is there. So please keep it into your mind. So guys, that's it, and now we'll go to the question section.
Now guys, please pause the video and try to answer the question. Question number 1 is with respect to the Nimhans Institute of Neurology. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 2 is with respect to the Singapore Convention. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Question number 3 is with respect to the India-Japan Cooperation. Please read the statements and identify the incorrect option. Question number 4 is with respect to the GI indicated tags. Please read the statement and identify the correct option. Now the mains question. So today's mains question is from GS paper number 3 and it is a 10 marker question. Question says that recently government banned more than 200 Chinese apps. Apart from strategic angle, how it can bring economic opportunities for India? Discuss. Try to bring certain multi-dimensional angles to this particular question. So guys, that's it. I hope you are liking our discussion. Thank you so much.